go over our mortgage rates as of April 26, 2023, and what's in the news. And we'll go over a few tools that can help you as a realtor. And we're going to go, because if you are dealing with us on the mortgage side, we have a portal for you. So every client that you give us for the mortgage side, you will have a separate portal for that, where you can see which stage your application or your the person's application is. And even the one that we actually closed, all the files that has been closed, you can see those in the same portal as well. And the most important is that you can print out pre-approval on your own. So we will show you everything in depth after we go over our interest rates. Okay. Any questions, concerns that you guys have, you guys can unmute yourself or put it in the chat, and we'll go from there. Okay. So let's get started with our interest rates. So according to Freddie Mac, they're at 6.39 as of last week. And that's very similar to what we have seen last week as well. And according to Mortgage News Daily, which is a little bit more accurate because it does on a daily basis, and it's showing 6.5. Again, these are interest rates on averages for 30-year conforming conventional loan with a credit score of 700 or above. Okay, so that's your 6.5 is your average right now. So, so we know the interest rates around 6.5. How about the inventory, right? We every meeting we talk about the inventory because it's one of the biggest factors that we have when it comes to real estate, right? Every year, according to this chart here, every year that we have seen, the inventory was much higher. Even in 2018, the inventory was more than 1.8 million. Right now, we're seeing less than a million inventory out there, property that's available for sale. But out of that, they're already about 30 to 40% of them are already under contract. So even though they're showing on the market, they're still under contract, so they're no good to you anyways. So the inventory level very low, as we have seen in the previous meetings. Okay. And now in the news here, this is from the Mortgage Note. The home prices moderate in February, so we know that the prices have been adjusting. They were down, but as interest rates goes lower, the prices adjust upwards for sure. That's just supply and demand. Okay, but for new homes, right? These are the stats that were, and this was the main topic in every news outlet out there. For the new home sales increased in March, right? These are newly built properties, and the sales has been increasing for those type of properties out there. Okay. Again, this is a different outlet here, MPA, and it tells you the same thing. New home sales hit 1 year high. Okay. So we said the inventory was on the lowest point, and according to Housing Wire, it's coming up a little bit. It's finally rising a little bit. We want that as realtors. We want to see more inventory out there so we can be active. There's a lot of so hardworking realtors out there that they have a good client, they want just well qualified, and you want to show them properties, but there's none out there or very little out there. We need more inventory out there so we can actually close deals and be in business. So when you see news like this, when the inventory is increasing, that's a positive and good news for us, right? Will the prices adjust when there's more inventory? Yes, but it really depends on how much inventory we get. Even if we double the inventory, it's still not enough to crash the market, right? That's how we truly feel. The inventory is so low now, we need more inventory out there. So when you're talking to your sellers, this is the best time to sell. If they can sell it, they can get the maximum price right now. Okay. And on the mortgage sides, if there were applications in, not everybody locking in the rate. So you can be under contract with someone, and but not lock your rate right away. So your loan officer will be checking the interest rates every day for you and advise you, hey, this is the best time to lock. And March was that month where you want to lock your loans there. right? Again, this is from National Mortgage Professionals. Similar article that the home sales surged nearly 10% in March. It was in every outlet that I saw today in the morning. And, that's the hottest news is that for new buildings or new properties as brand new built, those sales have surged. Okay. So a few of our loan officers mentioned this earlier today too, and everything that Joe Biden and their administration is thinking about increasing the fees, right, for people who have good credit, right? So that makes no sense. Why would you want to increase the fees or basically make it more expensive for a good person or a good credit, right? Person who has good credit. Why would you want to increase their fees? So, according to Biden, they want to subsidize for their high risk mortgages. So, on the one end, they have a pool of mortgages that's really high risk, and then they have majority of them are good credit home buyers. So, they want to penalize the good credit home buyers, which makes no sense, and hopefully that does not get implemented. So, if you have read that in the news, hopefully that does not go through, but we never want to penalize someone that's already having a good credit and they're ready to buy and everything like that, and then they back out because of the higher fees that now the government is trying to increase. Okay, and this will affect even credit scores of 680 and above, right? Even if it's about $40 per month on a loan or $400,000, things add up, you know. So you should not, or they should not penalize anyone that's with good credit. On the other hand, you want to actually, help out, and which they are. The government is already trying to help out with credit scores that have, clients that have credit scores, 520, 550, 580. You know, there are programs out there, but why would you want to penalize people with good credit? So we'll see that how that plays out in the coming weeks and months. Okay. So when your clients are looking for FHA loan, right? So they can get a FHA loan, normal loan, right? That's insured by the government. But there's also a FHA 203K program where they can get two loans in one. So they can get one loan for their mortgage and they can get another loan that's built in to repair for their renovations for that property, right? So National Associations of Realtors mentioned that, right here, that even your 203K loans that require approved consultants, right, that should be removed. If they're doing a home inspection, that should be good enough for them. But it just FHA loans, they add another layer that, hey, if you want to get a FHA 203K loan, you need to have a consultant that's approved by FHA to go there, look at the property, and have their own report, added to their loan application. So hopefully that gets removed. So, the 203K loans are easier to get, right? Any questions, concerns on FHA? All right. So now look at the rents here, right? So out of 100%, this is from March 2023. For let's say there are 100 people, for 23 people or 23% of them, the rents went down. So that's a good thing, you know. But and 29 people or 29% of the people, nothing changed. It remained the same. If they were paying $1,800 last month, they're still paying $1,800. But 48% went up, right? Even if it was only 5%, 7%, it went up, right? So we know that if you're gonna rent, is never you want to rent for temporarily. You don't want to rent forever because there's going to be cost to you, not just like, hey, not getting the mortgage, but you're paying more and you're paying off your landlord's mortgage with your rent, right? So if you can make that transition from renting to buying, of course there's going to be benefits if you can afford it, but the rents are not decreasing or going down in any way or form. close to 50% of went up. Okay. And you guys probably saw that too. I mean, in New York, I don't think anybody's rent went down, right? Probably stayed the same, but most likely it went up. Okay. As we just mentioned, there's cost of waiting. So if you're renting and you feel like you want to wait another year, 2 years, 3 years, and then you want to purchase a property, perfectly fine. It's up to you. But there's going to be a cost of waiting for you. So on this chart here, right, there's going to be two factors. One is your appreciation. Sure you hear this one here. When you're paying off your when you're paying the rent, it's going directly to the landlord, right? It's not helping you out in any way or form. But when you're paying your mortgage, you're paying down the loan and you're building equity over the years, right? It could be over 5 years, 10 years. The longer you stay at that property, when you owning a property, of course you're going to have your equity built. But if you're waiting 6 months, not much is going to happen, right? But if you're going to rent out for, let's say, a year, now 2 years or 3 years, you can jeopardize about $80,000. One is going to be your appreciation lost, and one is paying down your loan about $15,000 there, right? And also, if you want to wait, you're going to be bringing more at the closing table when you're actually making these payments for your down payment and your closing cost. Over the 3 year time, you could be bringing in around $13,000 more to the closing table. Okay. So when you're having a conversation with your buyers, again, if they're renting right now, there's going to be it's perfectly fine if they don't qualify. Let's say they don't have enough income right now and their credit score is really bad and they need to work on those. That's perfectly fine. You're waiting on them. You want to keep guiding them. But if they're well qualified, instead of paying the rent, it's definitely worth buying for a first time home buyer and having their own benefits on that note. Okay. Any questions so far, guys? Okay. Yep. Yeah, James. Okay. All right, cool. So we already know that New York is a tenant state, right? Because the tenants have more rights than the landlord here. The reason being is that we have about 10 million people living in New York City, right? So if it was a landlord state, we would have so many people that will be homeless because the landlord will be just start kicking out people left and right just because the rent was not paid on time. So it's a tenant state because they want the homeless people the rate to stay as low as possible. And if a tenant is not paying their rent on time, they have to basically serve them notices, go through the court system, and eventually get them out. It might take 6 months, 8 months, really depending on your situation. So the government is even giving more rights to the renters, and there's a renters bill of rights right now. And these five are the main ones here, right? Access to safe, affordable housing, clear and fair leases. The leases should be very straightforward. The rate increases in there, that matters too. You can't just say, hey, I'm going to increase your rent 15%, 20% every year. That can't happen. It has to be fair. Um, right to organize, right to, eviction prevention is the main one. You just can't evict anyone like that's behind 1 month's rent. It has to be a process. So again, your tenants have rights, and if you're a landlord, just make sure that you treat them well. It's a two-way street. You want to make sure it's a livable space and you're giving them everything that they need. And then from there, just know that this is going to be a tenant state where they have more rights than you as a landlord, right? So people who are renting out, so as realtors, they expect you guys to know about down payment assistance programs that we mentioned in our previous meetings. But just know that 75% of these down payment assistance programs, they go towards their down payment and the closing cost, right? So if someone is renting right now and if they ask you, hey, do you know anything where I can get assistance for my down payment or closing costs, your answer should be yes. You know, there are programs out there and there's different eligibilities, but I will show you there's different programs and then see which one you qualify for, right? This is the same website that we went over last time with different scenario, but downpaymentresource.com is where you want to be at and look at the stats and look at all the programs that's available for your clients. Okay. So now let's talk about you as a realtor, right? These are the stats from NAR for the realtors. 67% of the realtors were licensed salesperson, 21% of them held broker licenses, and 14% of them held broker associate licenses. So, broker associate license comes in when you qualify for to be a broker, but you don't want to open up your own shop. If you want to open up your own shop, that's fine. But if you want to stay as an associate broker, there's about 14% of them there. A typical realtor has 8 years of experience, right? So if you're brand new right now, you should be just learning, learning, learning if you want to stay in this game and this and make a career out of being a realtor. So average realtor has 8 years of experience, and 79% of the realtors are certain that they will remain active as real estate professional for next 2 years. So that's a really solid number when it comes to having a realtor as a profession, right? So if you want to be a realtor and you're making money, obviously you want to do this for next 2 years. On the other hand, if you're struggling and not cannot make the your housing expenses and all that, of course you're going to change your profession. But 79% of the realtors say that they will remain active for next 2 years. And we said earlier that lack of inventory is the most important factor, and that's true for rest of the realtors too. 57% of them are saying that there's lack of inventory, and that's the reason they're not um, be able to close deals on that. And this is another very important stats is that most realtors work 35 hours per week, right? So if you're not devoting 35 hours per week in your, reviewing your tools that we have like KV Core and setting up alerts and following up with your clients and showing them properties, there's no way you can make this into a profession. It's just not possible. If you think that you're going to give 3 hours a week, it's just not going to happen. You have to be devoted to real estate and put in the work, right? A typical person is giving a typical most realtors are putting in 35 or more, and I feel like 35 hours is nothing when it comes to any profession, right? If you're really serious about it, you have to be really passionate about it, right? And you want to build relationships, you want to stay connected with your clients that you have closed deals. A typical realtor earns 16% of their business from repeat clients and 20 of them through referrals, right? So stay in touch with them, your old clients, and especially the ones that you have sold the property in less than a year. Just call them up. Hey, Mr. Johnson, I just want to follow up with you just to see how's the property, is there any issues or anything like that. You have already sold the property. It's going to be hard to find the seller. So whatever issue there is now, maybe you can just guide them, right? So keep up with those clients and get referrals from them. Okay. So when it comes to income, when you're starting your real estate as a career is one of the toughest one out there because there's zero income coming in, right? You have to put in the work, close the deal, you get that check, you put in your expenses, then you're back at zero again. Then your next check, right? There's two ways of looking at it. One, if you're starting out, you're not gonna make that much, but if you stay in the game for a long time, you will make money. Realtors with 16 years or more years of experience, they make around $85,000 or more, right? And that's up about $10,000 from 2022 or from 2020. Okay, compared to realtors with 2 years of less experience, they make only $8,000. Okay. And this is very valid. And this is what we see with our brokerage as well. You got a brand new client, brand new agent, super excited to be a realtor, got their business cards, got their website running. They went through the training with me for a week, and then poof, they're gone. I don't see them for 3 months. And then after third month, hey, I have a deal. Great, I have a deal. They go through that deal, and then 3 months gone, nothing else is happening. In a yearly, probably they made $8 to $12,000. And that's very aligned with what they're saying here. So if you really want to succeed, you have to work. If you're brand new and you want to compete with these 16-year-old experienced people, you definitely can with these tools. But you just got to put in the work. You have to put in more than 35 hours a week if you want to compete with them, right? So we already said there's such a low inventory, so everybody's going after the same property that's available. So why not be like more into it? Just like be more at it. If you need more training, you come get trained at this. There's like if you reviewed something one time with me here with one feature and then you haven't touched that for 3 months, there's a good chance that you forgot most of that stuff, right? So you want to come back to the training, especially if you have experienced less than 2 years and you want to beat this stat. If you're making $20,000, $30,000 in the first 2 years, that's better than the rest of them. Okay, so please, we there's plenty of money to be made in real estate, but you have to put in the work. And when it comes to taxes, you can put your vehicle expenses as your taxes, and that was the largest expense category for realtors, which was around $1,400 or $1,500 for that year. Okay. Technology, we are already giving you the technology in every aspect. We're really tech savvy as a company, so we give you tools. We are willing to pay for those tools, but we just want you to utilize them, use them on regular basis. 96% of the realtors reported using a smartphone nearly every day. You have all your apps there. You have your KV Core, Dotloop, Microsoft Teams, you have your Outlook, everything is there, so you can literally work from your phone too. uh, 68% of the realtors are reported having a website. You already have a website. You're better than, again, 30 some percent because you have a website that sticks out, that looks professional, that you can compete with Zillow and other websites out there, right? Your realtors should be active on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We went in depth with this. That all of you guys should have these free profiles. There's nothing to lose. It's you have your headshot, you have your bio in there, you have your phone number and your website link, and you will get clients from them. You know, will it be like a lot every single day? No, but we're just looking at a few of them here, a few of them there. You never know where you're going to get these clients from, so be presentable and have these profiles set up. If you need any help with these, you just come in, schedule an appointment, come in, and we can do that for you. Okay. a realtor, realtors most often communicate with their client via text messaging, 94%, telephone call 92%, and email 90%. So these realtors are actually texting, which you can do from KV Core. Make it very easy. Every single day any new property comes in, there should be a text message going from you to your client, right? I don't care if they sold the same property in Zillow and elsewhere, and probably they got an email alert. They definitely got an email alert from KV Core. There's a new property, but we don't know if they checked their email. But if in the morning when you're following up with these clients and you're texting them brand new property that just came on the market, it makes a huge difference, right? And they will actually follow up with you and say, "Hey, I like the photos. Let me see this inside." you know so keep texting them from KV Core much as possible. Call them. Some of you guys are scared to pick up their phones and say, "Hey, I don't know what to say," and stuff like that. The conversation should be simple. "Hey, Mr. Johnson, I sent you a couple of links. Are you interested in any of those properties? If not, just give me feedback. Just tell me what you don't like about them so I don't send you similar properties. I'll send you something what you actually like." So just communicate. These conversations should be 1 or 2 minutes long, nothing crazy, but you're just staying in touch with them. Okay. And these are some demographics for our realtors. A typical realtor is a 50 years old white female who attended college and homeowner, right? We're trying to change that here. In Queens here, we are very diverse. We have, male, female, every nationality out there. So we want everybody that's a realtor, be proud that they're realtors, and they're just not a typical realtor out there. Female are definitely more as realtors than compared to men. 66% of them are female, which is fine, which we see here. More power to the females out there. But you want to stick out, make a professional, make good money out of it. Compete with your spouses, compete with it should be a nice competition where let's see who's making more money now. You know what I mean? So this way, end of the day, you both win. So majority of the realtors, 84% of them own their primary residence. That's a beautiful, good number, 84% of them. And you should be part of that stats. If you're renting right now, everything that we have said, it should apply to you as well. You should be setting up goals that, hey, I'm renting right now. My credit score is at 640. Maybe I want to bring my credit score to 680, and then I want to have enough down payment and for my down enough savings for down payment and for my closing costs. I don't know, buy my first property. After you buy your first property, look at this one here. The second stats drop dramatically. 37% of them own secondary home, right? Obviously, this is beautiful, but the second, it can increase. Once you purchase your own property, the next step should be that, hey, you want to have a secondary that out or rent out the first one and move into the second one. Whatever the case might be, you want to have more properties out there. We know that you can literally build wealth on real estate. If you're advising this to others, you should be using the same advice for yourself to set goal as a family. Hey, we want to own one, two, three, whatever properties in 5 years, 10 years. Set your goals. It's definitely possible. Okay. Any questions, concerns on this, guys? These are all stats related to you. All right. Next is VEDX, right? We mentioned this many times. The question majority of you guys have is that, hey, if I can get expired listings from MLS, why would I need why would I need to buy leads from RedX? Two things. One is that RedX will give you a dialer where you can dial these clients directly from the system, and two, they'll give you the phone numbers for the homeowners, right? There's no way to get the phone numbers from our MLS for the homeowner. When you click on the listing, you will see the listing agent's information and probably see the last name for the homeowner. And then probably you can go to Geodata or go to Property Shark and try to look for it. VEDX is doing all that for you, right? So it's definitely, it really depends on your situation. Most likely it's best to get the list from them and then try to convert. Even if you get one listing out of it, you will pay off everything that you have paid VEDX and make some money out of it. Okay, so there's definitely pros to VEDX or Mojo Dialer for cold calling. So please utilize that. Okay. So in KV Core, we mentioned this last time, but some of you guys are still confused under listings here, right? So you can view everything that's on MLS, on our LIBOR MLS, that's on your website as well. And for if you want to just look at the listing agent's information or properties details, you can go to KV Core, go to listings, all MLS listings, and you'll see everything in here. Don't type in anything in search here. Rather click on filter applied and type in the zip code or the area that you want to be in. You can draw on map as well. Let's say you're looking for only 3 bedrooms in that zip code, and you're looking for 500 to 650 properties in that zip code, and apply filter. Now you will see everything with that filter applied, right? You'll see that this is in South Ozone Park. The price is 575. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, and it's listed by this agent. You want to get more details for this agent, click on the property. Once you click on the property, you'll see everything here. You see Lisa, that's the agent's information, and you see a co-listing agent pile as well. All them from here. Okay. You can also see when was the last time they had an open house, or there's an upcoming open house. If you see a previous date, obviously this past, so they had an open house 10 days ago. And the conversation you're having with them is super simple. Hey, this is Jessica with LJ Realty Team. Is 11617 126th Street available? Yes or no? If it's available, I would like to show it today at 3 o'clock. You already have your client schedule from the questionnaire. Schedule that showing. Show up on time or a few minutes earlier, right? Give out your business card to the listing agent. If you haven't met the client before, give them the business card as well and start doing the showing, right? But everything starts off in KV Core. And I can see when was the last time that you guys logged in into KV Core, and it drives me nuts when I see that, hey, this person haven't logged in 3 months, and then you guys, say, hey, I'm not closing any deals. You got to use the systems, right? Learn the systems, use the system so you can help out your client in the most professional way. Any question on KV Core, guys? All right. ljagent.com, very simple website for you guys to utilize. Is a resource center for you guys. If you guys want to schedule a meeting with me or Jazz for mortgage or real estate, you guys can click on this link, right? So when you click on this link, it will take you to a page where you can schedule a meeting. But the point here is that we want you to create a calendar link so you can send this link to your client where it would have your information here. Hassan, you should definitely do this for home inspector. You can do one calendar for home inspection when you are available, or when you want to do home inspections. You can do one for real estate, and hopefully you're getting your mortgage. You can do one for the mortgage. But every realtor out there should have one calendar set up for yourself, right? And one of the free ones out there, yep, one of the free ones is called Calendly. It's calendar, but ly in the back, right? So this is the paid version. You can get the free version, right? And it will help you schedule meetings for yourself. So this way you don't have to go back and forth. Hey, when are you available? When can I meet you? And stuff like that. It makes you look professional as well, because it's so easy for them to schedule showings or meetings with you. So every one of you guys should sign up for free, set up the calendar, and go from there. Any questions on that, guys? This is very important for all the realtors. Especially you can do one calendar for, hey, I'm available for to meet you in the office at these times. Maybe you have another job, part-time, full-time. Maybe you have to pick up the kids, or you have to do this or that. You can set up, customize your schedule. So like for myself, nobody's allowed to schedule meetings when I have meetings here. So from Wednesday from 11 to 1, no one can schedule a meeting. Same thing on Saturdays. And you can override it. So let's say you're going on vacation, you can customize the schedule. So this way it's less cancellation, less headaches for your client, right? It could be a phone call consultation that they want to speak to you and consult with a home buying process. Hey, I don't know the difference between home inspection and home appraisal and the title report. All that can be answered over the phone using a calendar link. Okay, this is very important with you guys, so I'm going to share that in chat. Okay. Same thing for Microsoft Teams, right? We have Microsoft Teams. A lot of you guys using it, which is great. Some of you guys not. If not, this will help you for when you especially have a file that's going that's under contract. We follow up on it on weekly basis to make sure that the file is actually moving. It's just not sitting there. So this really helps out on our end as a brokerage. We can see what's going on with your files, and two is that you can stay up to date with it too. If you're staying up to date with it, you're letting your clients staying up to date with it. It makes you look professional, and it gives you a repeat business, right? So Microsoft Teams, as soon as you get an offer accepted, send me the details. Hey, I have an offer accepted. All I need is your client's name and their address, right? The property's address, and we create a channel for that. And like we said, when you're talking in that channel, you can attach any files, And you can do that by clicking on this clip, paper clip on the bottom here. And you can share any type of files. Okay, very simple, very straightforward, but please use Microsoft Teams. All right, so now let's come to the fun part here. This is for our real estate agents that are giving us business on the mortgage side. So let's say you have an offer accepted, or if you have a client and they're doing mortgage with us on LGM Mortgage Team, right? So as soon as a file is added to our portal on our mortgage side, we will send you a link, right? Invite for a real estate agent portal. So it'll either have my name, Josh's name, or one of our agents. So let's say it's a Torlochin's file or it's James' file. James will, send you a link for an invite. It will look something like this. We're gonna show you how we set that up. So as soon as you get this email, you're gonna click on Finish Account Setup. I'm doing this live for you guys, so this way you guys can know. So on top here, you see Agent Portal. It says Set New Password. So it has to be one uppercase, lowercase. So once you set that up, which email did I use? Lucky at ljhub.net. So once you log in, this is what the file will look like, right? I mean, your portal will look like. So you have active, you have closed. So these are all your files that you have. So let's say you have active because this is a sample. You'll see all your active files here. All the closed ones, you'll see them here. So let's say I want to look at this file. You can look at their client's name. You can look at the file name, file number. You can see what status the loan is at. This one is already finalized, right? You can see the property address, and you can see the property price and the down payment. You can see the client, because this is a mutual client. This is your client, right? So this way we're disclosing their phone number and email for you. When you click on this arrow here, you can see more details for that. So you can see what type was it, is a primary residence, who's involved in that. So you can see the originator, you can see the real estate agent, and you can see the loan dates. When was it created? When the credit was ordered? When the loan contingency, appraisal contingency, and a loan closing estimated closing date is scheduled for. So you'll see all these details here, and then you will see your loan progress. Hey, the application's in, is processing, underwriting, and closing. Right? If we request for our clients to upload any document, you will see that, hey, they have to upload, X amount of documents. You can see how many are pending, how many are in review, and how many are accepted, right? And then on here you can see what is their housing expenses breakdown. This is what they're going to be paying on monthly basis. This might not matter to you as a realtor, as long as they're qualified, the applications is in, appraisal is ordered, there's no issues with the application. You don't care how much the money that they're actually doing it. This is the loan officer's job, right? But this portal will show you what they're paying, right? Even the appraisal value, you can see how much the bank appraised it for, how much money that they put as earnest deposit. You should know this because you're the one who put in the offer. And if you know that they were putting down 12,000, 15,000, $20,000, how much down payment that they put. And seller's concession is usually zero, and that's what you'll see here, right? And now let's say you have a client that's not responding to the loan officer, or if you need any documentation from their end, you can upload any documents here as well. Hey, the agents, I need this sign. Majority of time, everything that you have for disclosures is already built in dot loop, but it just gives you another if you want to upload any document for our loan officers, right? If a client gives you something and you want to upload it, again, this feature is available, but I highly recommend that you stay away from that. If there's any paperwork that a loan officer is asking, the client should be providing it directly to the loan officer. It should not go to the realtor at all. Okay, I hope that makes sense, right? But more importantly, you can see your statuses. That's what the majority of the concerns are. Hey, I submitted this file with you. It's been 3 weeks. Where's my file? Right? You know what's happening. Instead of calling your loan officer, you can just see those statuses here, right? All the active ones you'll see it here as well. Okay, because this file is already closed here as a sample. If it was active, you will see a pre-approval letter button here, and all you had to do was click on pre-approval letter, and you can print that out. What that will do is that on different scenarios, you probably want to have a different pre-approval letter. Some of you guys want a lower a lower amount on that pre-approval letter just because of negotiation room, right? Some of you guys, let's say you're putting in an offer for $600,000. So in the letter, you just want to show that hey, they qualify up to $600,000, even though your client qualifies for $800,000, right? That have happened many times with myself too, where you want to put a lower amount. Hey, we're putting in an offer for 600,000. The pre-approval letter says 600,000, right? You can't, whatever the loan officer sets the limit to. So if the loan officer says, the maximum this person can purchase is 800,000, you can create pre-approval letters below that amount anytime you like, so right from the same system. Okay, does that make sense? Questions, concerns, anything on your mind? Okay. So again, this will make your life a little bit easier when it comes to follow-ups. For our loan officers, we're telling them, either they pick a day, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, whatever day it is, that they follow up with their files, with their realtors, with their attorneys, just to keep them in the loop, what's going on. But this portal just gives you everything in one snapshot. Hey, what's going on with this file, especially when you have multiple files with us. Okay. So the way the feature is going to work is that every file, we already have about 17 files with you guys, 17 or 18 right now with our realtors. So all those realtors will have the first priority. So all of them will get, we will send them a link for an invite that will look something like this. And all you're doing is clicking on finish account setup and setting up a password. So any file down the line that has to do with you will be shown up here, either as active or as closed. Okay. Any notes that you want to add for this file, you can literally add it here. You can click on this notes, loan notes icon, and then you can say, hey, doing final walkthrough on 28th at 3 p.m. And then you can leave notify users and save it, right? So this way, the realtor, the loan officer, they're both on the same page. They don't have to communicate. If everything that's added here, the loan officer will get a message that you have added these notes as a realtor. Okay, so it's a good communication tool. So it's a good tool for you to use, especially when you have multiple files with us. And I hope this helps you guys just check the statuses. Okay, questions, concerns, anything on your mind, guys? Okay, and last is that I just want you to be careful about spam, right? Look at this email here. It says the subject line, it says that means they're replying. It says agreement, and then it says our company, my email here, right? Nothing else. And they put it as a high importance. So you probably, when you look at something like this, you're like, oh, this is sent from DocuSign. Let me click on review document. This is spam, guys, right? So when you scroll over, it says review document. On the bottom here, you guys can see that this is going to www.listreports.com/tracking. Has nothing to do with DocuSign, right? So if you're not expecting any documents to be signed, please, you don't want any viruses in your computer, you don't want any malware or anything like that. So just make sure that you know you know you're expecting this email, and then you click on it, and then you go ahead and sign something. Just be careful with spam. Some of you guys get text messages from another area code pretending to be me, and they want a gift card or something like that. We already went over that. That's completely spam. But protect your computers when you see. And this came, it did not even go to spam, it was directly into my inbox. And when I saw this, I was like, what is this, and then I clicked on it. I mean, just scrolled over it. It tells you it's going to take me to a different website. So just be, heads up on those. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is just your tabs open, right? In the morning, when you're starting work, on the top here, you have your tabs. The tabs that you want to have open are your KV Core, right? Your Stratus, your Teams, your dot loop, your KV Core. These should be open at all times on top here. So because like we said before, if you're going to be spending 35 or more hours per week in real estate, you need to have your tools open. You need to actually use them and clean them. If your emails are showing in thousands, hey, if emails right now, this is 31 and this is I cleaned it up maybe 2 hours ago. New emails come in, you're going to make sure that if you know what it is, mark them as read and have your inbox as zero. These small things go a long way, guys. It keeps you professional, keeps you up to date, and once you have these tools, you can really help out your client. Everything that we're doing here is to help out your client, right? To make you look good, make you look professional, where you can actually close on time and get repeat business and make a career out of this, right? So we went through a lot, guys, and we wanted to make money out of this. We wanted to actually put in the work and actually close deals, right? If you're having any trouble with Zillow leads or OpCity leads, and trust me when I say this, out of 70 agents, I have gotten feedback for Zillow and OpCity on both ends. Hey, Zillow is great, OpCity sucks. Zillow sucks, OpCity is great. To me, it's like, hey, in the whole United States, both of these, there's like hundreds of thousands of agents using both of them, and these platforms work. It really depends on you when you're going to give up on them, right? If you don't, you can give up on a client but not the systems, right? One client can be bad or waste your time, does not mean that the system doesn't work. The systems are in place for you to succeed, and just don't give up on them. Keep up with your clients, keep following up with your clients until you get that closing. You don't want to bug them, but at the same time, you want to stay professional and keep in touch with them. Okay? Questions, concerns, anything on your mind, guys? Anyone struggling with anything with real estate related, anything they want to share? We have about 5 minutes. Gotta be someone, something. Can anyone hear me?